Well, the nation today has lost one of its best central bankers. He's perhaps one of the best central bankers in the world. Narasimhan is the only governor of the Reserve Bank to have risen from the ranks of the RBI. Normally, governors are appointed from outside. The highest that an RBI official can rise to is deputy governor. Of course, Narasimhan was too brilliant to be excluded from that list. He joined as a researcher and economist in the economics department and then rose to be governor. He has held a whole host of positions even before he became governor. He was additional secretary in the Department of Economic Affairs, and thereafter, after governorship, he was India's executive director at World Bank and IMF, came back and served as finance secretary. But beyond all these positions, it is his role as chairman of two major committees. The first Narasimhan Committee on financial sector reforms appointed by Manmohan Singh as finance minister, and the second Narasimhan Committee on banking sector reforms that was appointed by Chidambaram as finance minister in 1997. They really converted the Indian banking sector into a modern one. Remember, the banking sector before the 90s was indistinguishable from the government. All banks were owned by the government, and therefore there was no distinction between government money and banks' money. Narasimhan put an end to all that. He made them into distinct entities. The first thing that the recommendation that he made was that the government stake be brought down. The first was done in 1990 when the State Bank of India was listed with just 2% of the shares. And thereafter, of course, all other banks followed suit. And then the bigger advice was this 90-day default. At that time, only if you were 180 days, 6 months past due, you were recognized as NPA. He brought it down to 90 days. That was a very big reform in his time, but much more important were the very strict capital norms. Banks were not capitalized because they were anyway owned by the government, but Narasimhan ensured that there was 10% capital adequacy. Remember, Basel advises only 8%, but Narasimhan had made the Indian banking sector so much more stricter. In a way, he also actually created the money market in India. That was one of his lesser known reforms. RBI used to directly intervene in the T-bill market. It was Narasimhan's advice that the liquidity adjustment facility, the LAF, the repo, reverse repo were all conceptualized. But the more important part in terms of his reforms is what we are only now implementing. He advised merger of the banks. You know, those 26 banks, we only now managed to merge four of them into large banks and reduce the number of banks by about 12. This was originally Narasimhan's advice, and the other advice of his, which is only now going to be followed, is privatization. He had recommended way back in 1997 that the government should get out of the banking system and at least some of the banks should be denationalized. It's still work in progress, but before the grand old man of banking reforms passed away, at least he knows that the nation is on the way to banking reform.